Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this world where laptops grow ever thinner, lighter, and more fragile, have you ever wondered if we've lost something along the way? Today, we look back to recreate a legend. This is the story of a 17-year-old laptop that not only survived, but will thrive in 2025. Meet the ThinkPad X200, running the modern, elegant, and efficient MX Linux KDE operating system. So, the biggest question is why? Why bother using a machine from 2009 in 2025? The answer is multifaceted. It's about sustainability, breathing new life into perfectly functional hardware. It's about digital minimalism, focusing on the task at hand, unencumbered by the distractions of modern operating systems. It's about control and ownership over both hardware and software. Perhaps most importantly, it's about the sheer, unadulterated pleasure of typing on one of the finest keyboards ever made. Why choose MX Linux? MX Linux is based on the stable Debian release, meaning it is rock solid and reliable. Simultaneously, MX Linux incorporates elements from Antix, ensuring exceptional lightness and speed even on older hardware. MX Linux is renowned for its comprehensive suite of MX tools, graphical utilities that make system administration effortless, accessible even to Linux novices. MX Linux masterfully blends stability, performance, and user-friendliness. Why choose the KDE Plasma Desktop? In MX Linux, you can select from multiple desktop environments. We have chosen KDE Plasma. Now, you might be thinking, isn't KDE rather resource-intensive? That was a common misconception years ago. Modern KDE Plasma is remarkably resource-efficient, while offering stunning visuals and boundless customization. KDE Plasma offers a traditional desktop design favored by Windows users, while also allowing deep customization. From widgets to panels to themes, you can craft a desktop that is truly your own. On the X200's modest hardware, KDE Plasma delivers a modern, feature-rich experience without bogging down the system. It's the perfect way to breathe new life into this aging hardware. Backing up data is the most crucial step before installing any operating system. The importance of backing up data cannot be overstated. Once the preparatory work has been completed, we can proceed to the next step. Our first step is to obtain the MX Linux ISO file. This step requires a functional computer with an internet connection. Open your web browser, search for MX Linux on Google, and visit the MX Linux official website. On the MX Linux official website, locate the Downloads section. You may encounter multiple MX Linux options. We need to locate the download link for MX Linux KDE. Select the download for MX 2.6 64 KDE ISO. The MX 23.6 KDE ISO file is approximately 2.7 GB in size, so please be patient during the download. You may wish to enjoy a cup of coffee or review the BIOS settings on your ThinkPad X200. During the download process for the X Linux KDE ISO, we require a tool to burn the MX Linux KDE ISO file onto a USB drive, rendering it bootable. This is crucial, as the X200 typically lacks an integrated optical drive. My chosen tool is Etcher. It is cross-platform free and exceptionally straightforward to use. Please download and install Etcher on your current computer. After downloading the MX Linux KDE ISO file and installing Etcher, insert your USB drive. Open Etcher, select the downloaded ISO file, then choose your USB drive as the target drive. Please double-check that you have selected the correct drive. Choosing the wrong one may erase important data on other drives. Click Flash and let Etcher work its magic. This process may take several minutes, depending on the speed of your USB drive. Upon completion, you will receive a confirmation message. Do not format the USB drive afterward, simply eject it safely. Once the bootable USB is ready, we insert it into the ThinkPad X200. Switch on the ThinkPad X200, then immediately press the F1 key repeatedly to enter the BIOS utility settings. Within the BIOS, we first press the F9 key to restore the default settings. Next, we press the F10 key to save and exit. At this point, the ThinkPad X200 will reboot. When the ThinkPad boot screen reappears, press F12 to enter the boot menu. Within the boot menu, select to boot from the USB HDD and press Enter. Now we have arrived at the MX Linux KDE boot menu. Within the MX Linux boot menu, we can select our preferred boot method. Typically, the first default option is the one we desire. Select it and press Enter. Your ThinkPad X200 laptop will then load the fully functional MX Linux KDE live desktop environment directly from your USB drive, without accessing your internal hard drive. On this ThinkPad X200, loading the MX Linux KDE live desktop environment took less than a minute. This is the complete MX Linux KDE live desktop running entirely from your USB drive. Feel free to click around, open applications, and experience the operating system without installing anything. Before a full installation, we can test MX Linux KDE in the live environment. This is a crucial step to verify all hardware, Wi-Fi, sound, screen resolution, touchpad, and other components are functioning correctly. Right here, the ultra-streamlined KDE desktop. Notice how swiftly it loads. Even on this older Core 2 Duo processor, it runs remarkably smoothly. Observe the memory usage in the system monitor. Incredibly low, under 30%. This is precisely why we selected KDE. If everything is in order, we can proceed with the installation. On the MX Linux KDE Live desktop, you will find an icon labeled Installer. Double-click it to launch the installation programming. This graphical installer is highly user-friendly, guiding you step by step through the entire installation process. The first step is language and keyboard layout. Ensure your keyboard layout is correct, especially that splendid ThinkPad layout. Step 2 is disk partitioning. This is where most new users feel nervous. We have two main options: automatic installation, erasing the entire disk, or custom partitioning. As we are performing a clean install on this ThinkPad X200, I shall select the automatic installation using the entire disk. If you are dual booting, you may choose custom and use the MX partitioning tool to shrink the existing Windows or other Linux partition, creating a new partition for MX. For a clean install, I recommend setting up a small swap partition around 4 GB should suffice for the ThinkPad X200 hardware, a primary root partition formatted as ext4, and an optional separate primary partition for user files, though a single root partition is also viable. Step 3. Configure hostname and user settings. Whilst copying files, the installation program will prompt you to configure system settings. Hostnaming. This is your computer's name on the network. In the domain section, you may leave this blank for home use. Computer network group is typically left blank as well. Step 4. Set localization settings. Here you configure your region and set the clock and time zone. Step 5 is user configuration. Set up your primary user account, security password, and root password. A best practice is to avoid automatic login, though for personal computers like mine, it proves rather convenient. For enhanced security, I recommend leaving the automatic login option ticked. File copying is now in progress. This is the perfect moment to enjoy a cup of coffee, review your chat logs, and let the magic unfold. The lightweight nature of MX 2.36 KDE means installation is actually quite swift. On this ThinkPad X200, the entire process took approximately 6 minutes. Upon completion of the installation, you will see a message prompting you to close the installer and automatically restart the system. After clicking Finish, the installer will close and automatically restart the system. During the restart process, once the screen turns black, we must remove the USB installation media. This is crucial to prevent your ThinkPad X200 from attempting to boot from the USB again. Your ThinkPad X200 will now reboot. Upon restarting, it will boot directly into your newly installed MX 23.6 KDE, codenamed Libretto. As the ThinkPad boot screen bearing the Intel and Lenovo logos reappears, this ThinkPad X200 approaches its pivotal moment. We observe the GRUB menu counting down, which will guide us in the freshly installed MX Linux 23.6 KDE desktop, codenamed Libretto. Success. MX 23.6 KDE boots significantly faster than any commercial operating system achieved on this 2008 hardware. Upon booting MX Linux for the first time, the window that greets you is MX Welcome. This is no mere welcome message. It's a powerful navigation hub. First, it acts like an old friend, introducing you to MX Linux's unique charm, helping you quickly grasp the system's core philosophy and strengths. Next, you no longer need to search through vast documentation for answers. MX Welcome thoughtfully provides various useful links, whether it's official documentation, detailed user manuals, active community forums, or FAQs. You can access them with a single click to resolve your queries. Even better, it assembles a collection of MX Linux's secret techniques. A suite of powerful MX tools. From system backups and driver installations to system cleanups and snapshot management, these tasks that might once have daunted newcomers are now within easy reach. You'll also find essential tools like the package manager prominently placed for straightforward software installation. First, navigate through the System menu, System A Info Center. Under About this system, you can view the operating system's software version and hardware specifications. Within System Monitor, you can observe the system's operational status and resource utilization. Other options provide access to further, more detailed information. Within the System menu, we can observe that MX23.6 KDE incorporates a substantial array of open-source software, from web browsing and email, document and spreadsheet editing, lightweight coding and scripting, to media consumption. There exists ready-to-use software to fulfill our everyday requirements. Next, we shall proceed to update the system. Open the MX package installer or launch the terminal using the shortcut Ctrl+Alt+T. Then enter sudo update, enter your password. The system will now retrieve the list of available updates. Next, we shall enter apt list, upgradable to view available software upgrades. Subsequently, we shall input sudo apt get dist upgrade to implement these upgrades. This ensures you possess all the latest security patches and software. Concurrently, I shall also install GUNDB, nearfetch and hardinfo. Afterwards, we shall need to reboot the computer to apply these updates. Next, I'd like to discuss what I know about the ThinkPad X200. To understand the X200, one must understand the ThinkPad legacy. This product was born in 1992, crafted by IBM. Its design drew inspiration from traditional Japanese lunchboxes, making it a revolutionary innovation. It embraced the business design philosophy of understated elegance, practicality, and reliability. The signature red trackpoint became an iconic design element. ThinkPads have traveled into space aboard the Space Shuttle. They were, and remain, the epitome of serious computing. The X200, released in 2008, emerged at a pivotal juncture. Lenovo had acquired IBM's PC division several years prior in 2005. At the time, some die-hard enthusiasts feared the legendary build quality would vanish. The X200 and its contemporaries, such as the T400, were regarded as the last models to retain IBM's classic design DNA. Before the switch to the chiclet keyboard, it was the last X-series ultra-portable to feature the traditional 7-row layout. For many, it represented the last true ThinkPad keyboard. Next, let us discuss the physical build of the ThinkPad X200. What you first notice is that the ThinkPad X200 is not constructed from flimsy plastic. The chassis of the ThinkPad X200 features a magnesium alloy roll cage. This laptop was designed from the outset to withstand the rigors of travel. The ThinkPad X200 conveys a sense of substantiality, robustness, and dependability that few modern devices achieve. The ThinkPad X200 features of a 12.1-inch screen with a resolution of 180 by 800. Admittedly, by today's standards, this resolution is rather low, and the bootable installer, and the viewing angles aren't particularly good either. However, it boasts a matte finish screen, making it exceptionally well suited for typing and working under various lighting conditions. Then, there's the keyboard. This is the legendary 7-row ThinkPad keyboard. Key travel, tactile feedback, sculpted keycaps that fit the fingertips perfectly. Without exaggeration, it offers one of the finest typing experiences you'll find on any laptop. Writers, programmers, and journalists still seek out this machine solely for its keyboard. It's that good. Despite its compact form factor, it boasts a full-size layout, an engineering marvel. It eschews a touchpad in favor of the iconic trackpoint pointing stick. It takes some getting used to, but once mastered, your hands need never leave the home row. Right then, let us now discuss the internal structure of the ThinkPad X200. A typical configuration for a ThinkPad X200 manufactured in 2008 is as follows. CPU. Intel Core 2 Duo processor, likely either a 8400 or P8600, with a clock speed of approximately 24 GHz. This is a 64-bit chip, which is essential for running modern software. Memory. It shipped with 2 GB to 4 GB of DD3 RAM. Officially rated for 4 GB only, community testing revealed this chipset can support up to 8 GB with compatible modules. This marks our first key upgrade opportunity: storage. A single 7200 RPM mechanical hard drive, typically 160 GB. This remains the primary bottleneck to date. Simultaneously, this represents our second key upgrade opportunity: graphics. Features integrated Intel GMA 45nm graphics. While incapable of running modern games, it handles contemporary desktop interfaces with ease. Ports. A traveler's dream. 3 USB ports, a VGA port for projectors, Ethernet, headphone and microphone jacks, and even an express card slot for expansion. Running a modern operating system on the original hardware would prove rather troublesome. The hard disk speed would be unbearably slow. Therefore, we undertook two essential upgrades, fortunately at a reasonable cost. Firstly, we can replace the mechanical hard disk with a 2.5-inch SATA solid-state drive. This is the most significant upgrade you can undertake. It substantially reduces boot times, accelerates application loading speeds, and enhances overall system responsiveness. It makes the machine feel a decade younger. Secondly, we maximize the memory. We upgrade it to 8 GB of DDR3 RAM. This provides the necessary headroom for our modern operating system and applications, particularly web browsers. With these two upgrades, now achievable for under $50, our 17-year-old laptop is ready for a 2025 makeover. And now let us turn to the operating system. We could have opted for a stripped-down, ultra-lightweight Linux distribution, but that was not the aim. We sought a fully featured, modern experience. That is why we chose MX Linux. MX Linux is the product of collaboration between the Antix and former MyPS Linux communities. Its philosophy combines an elegant, efficient desktop with high stability and robust performance. MX Linux is built upon the Debian stable system, renowned for its reliability. Its primary appeal lies in being a mid-weight distribution. Unlike certain mainstream operating systems, MX Linux isn't resource-intensive, yet it's far from minimalist. It offers a complete out-of-the-box experience, perfectly suited for beginners and experts alike. And it boasts a secret weapon, which we'll discuss shortly. We have deliberately selected the KDE Plasma version. For a long time, KDE was known for being cumbersome. That is no longer the case. Modern KDE Plasma is sleek, efficient, and highly customizable. Appearance and experience. It presents a professional and refined desktop. You retain the familiar bottom panel and start menu, yet every element can be tailored to your preferences: themes, colors, icons, widgets. You can make it resemble Windows, macOS, or adopt an entirely unique style. Widgets. And widgets directly to your desktop or panel for everything from weather and news to system monitoring. Dolphin File Manager. One of the most powerful file managers available, featuring split pane views, an integrated terminal, and support for network folders. Activities. This is a killer feature. You can create separate desktops for different tasks. One work desktop for documents and emails, one hobbies desktop for programming tools, and so forth. It's like having multiple computers within one machine. KDE delivers a premium user experience, and our aim is to see whether the unassuming ThinkPad X200 can smoothly provide this experience. Now let's examine that secret weapon. What truly sets MX Linux apart is its bespoke suite of applications, known as MX Tools. These straightforward graphical utilities render complex tasks remarkably simple. This represents a revolutionary leap in user-friendliness. Allow me to highlight a few key examples too. Emacs Snapshot. This is brilliant. It allows you to create a live bootable ISO file of your entire installed system. You can carry your personalized operating system on a USB stick to run on other computers, or use it as the perfect backup. MX Package Installer. This tool grants access to multiple software repositories within a user-friendly interface. You can install standard Debian packages, popular community-maintained Flatpak packages, and more, all without resorting to the command line. It's the ultimate software store. MX Tweak. This simplifies desktop layout customization. Prefer your panel at the top. Want a different button layout on Windows? Achieve it with just a few clicks. MX Startup Repair and Cleanup. Tools to help you effortlessly maintain and repair your system. These tools are designed with the user at the heart. They inherit Debian's exceptional stability while imparting unparalleled convenience. For this very reason, we believe MX Linux is the perfect candidate for this project. So, The biggest question is, after all that talk, how does it actually feel to use? Let's start with the good news, and there's plenty of it. Desktop experience. Surprisingly smooth! Thanks to the upgraded solid-state drive and memory, the KDE Plasma Desktop runs fluidly. Windows open swiftly, animations are fluid, system responsiveness is brisk, and everyday navigation is remarkably smooth. Idle memory usage hovers between 800 MB and 1 GB, leaving ample space for applications. The ultimate writing machine. This is where this setup truly shines. Launching LibreOffice Writer or a distraction-free text editor like Typora delivers flawless performance. Paired with an excellent keyboard and the matte screen, the writing experience rivals, and in my view, even surpasses that of a brand new MacBook. Light to moderate web browsing. Using modern browsers like Firefox, web browsing is a very pleasant experience. You can comfortably have 5 to 10 tabs open, browsing sites like Wikipedia, news articles, and blogs. YouTube streams smoothly at 720 up resolution, perfectly suited to the 1280 by 800 screen. Programming and system administration. For developers using tools like Visual Studio Code and with some tweaks for performance and Vim or Genie, it serves as an excellent portable workstation. Whilst code compilation is slightly slower, it proves highly enjoyable for scripting, web development, and remote server management via SSH. Basic multimedia. Playing local 1080 video files with VLC is perfectly fine. Listening to Spotify or local music is also no problem whatsoever for focused, productivity-oriented tasks. This machine is not only usable but an absolute pleasure to work with. But we must be realistic. This is a processor that is already 17 years old. There are some inherent limitations. Heavy web browsing. This is a chill's heel. Modern websites are incredibly resource-intensive. Opening large sites like Google Maps, Notion, or Figma overwhelms this machine. Having more than 20 tabs open simultaneously leads to sluggish, frustrating performance. The Core 2 Duo CPU simply cannot cope with JavaScript-heavy modern web pages. Video conferencing, possible but subpar. Running Zoom or Google Meet causes significant CPU fan noise, and performance suffers if multitasking simultaneously. Gaming, forget it. You might run some older games or simple 2D indie titles, but the integrated Intel graphics are unsuitable for gaming. Demanding creative work. Video editing in GMP, 3D modeling, and intensive photo editing are simply not feasible. The CPU becomes the bottleneck, resulting in extremely long rendering times. Battery life. Even with a new battery, real-world usage will only last 3 to 4 hours. Older hardware's energy efficiency simply can't match modern chips. When purchasing this machine, you cannot expect it to replace a modern powerhouse. You must adapt your workflow to its capabilities. So, have we succeeded? Can a ThinkPad X200 running MX Linux KDE still be a viable daily driver by 2025? The answer is yes, if for the right person. If you're a writer, a student primarily handling documents and research, a programmer requiring a portable terminal and lightweight editor, or simply seeking a secondary device for focused work. This setup is not only practical but excellent. It's an affordable, durable, and exceptionally user-friendly tool for specific tasks. However, if your work relies on resource-intensive web applications, constant video calls, or creative media production, this machine is not for you. This experiment demonstrates that we can resist the throwaway tech culture. With a little effort and the power of open-source software like Linux, we can extend the lifespan of well-designed hardware by years, even decades. This little black box isn't just a laptop, it's a statement. It proves that good design is timeless. And with the right software, old hardware can still find meaningful purpose in the modern world. Have you installed Linux on a ThinkPad X200 laptop? Have you installed MX Linux KDE on an older laptop? Please share your experiences in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more tech content and hit the notification bell to ensure you don't miss our next video. Thank you for watching. I hope this sharing proves enlightening for everyone.